Lord Cernunnos, opener of the door, guide to the ways between, gatekeeper of the gods, open for me the pathway that all I wish for might be accomplished. Cernunnos, Lord, sitter in the doorway, God of equilibrium, terrible, merciful, you who holds the opposites apart, you whom all the opposites unite, my prayer goes to you to open the passage, to clear the threshold, to make the way clear, down from the mountains of Haven and the Appalachians, and down to New Orleans to find the Armistice. Great Horned One, I'm coming for you.
Hello YouTube Coven Buddies, my name is Kaza and today I'm going to be casting an illusion spell to take you down to New Orleans to enjoy Armistice Arcane Part 2 of the Crowley Chronicles. With this adventure, I'll illustrate all the things that I love about Armistice Arcane, the things that they've introduced into their design, as well as the magic behind summoning a god. Before we dive into the story of Armistice Arcane, I'd like to tell you a little bit of the things that I love about Armistice, and a lot of it comes from their design. Peculiar Crossroads has introduced a lot of really interesting design elements to Armistice Arcane, one of them being the opening workshop. Workshops, by the way, are my favorite part of a LARP event. As somebody with a reading disability, I really benefit well from hands-on learning, so being able to participate in a workshop really helps me figure out how I'm going to be playing the game. At Armistice Arcane, they use consent-based roleplay. They allow players to initiate their own scenes. They have a red, yellow, green mechanic that allows people to elevate or de-escalate a situation. They also use the check-in mechanics that we generally see that are used with hand signals. Don't forget, you can always bow out. And I really appreciate the icebreakers that they introduce into the workshop as well. I generally feel like icebreakers at a LARP are a great way to get to know each other before you start playing. It's a great way to kind of get to know players before you put on the costume and get to be somebody else. It's also a very great way to establish boundaries and let other people know what kind of fun you're looking for. Something that I really love about Armistice Arcane's design is that they offer each faction a faction facilitator. This is generally someone who we would call a storyteller or a GM. However, their adaptation of this role is really important. The faction facilitator is somebody who's going to make sure that the story that you want to engage with and have is going to happen for you, the player.
So I'd like to start by asking the facilitators to please stand up. I was going to ask you to come up here, but there's a lot of people here, so let's not try to... So, stand back up. All right. So I want you to make sure, I want you to make sure you know who these people are. We have these fancy ribbons. They are green ribbons. They will be wearing them on their costumes tonight. You are a great model. So, in fact, Lee has one on him right now. These are the people who are there to help you have a good time. But they are here if you're bored, If you're like, I don't know what to do, I'm nervous, I'm scared, I have no idea what I'm supposed to be doing, go to your facilitator. If you have something secret that you'd like to do, go to your facilitator, okay? They are there for you. They are there to help you have a good time. They're going to have good times as well, but they are paid to make sure you have a good time, okay? So just remember that.
For me, this was really helpful. As somebody who had a personal goal to do as many scenes as she possibly could, I worked very closely with our faction facilitator to make some of those things happen. I got to go to my faction facilitator and say, hey, I want to summon a god. And they would ask me, how do you want to do this? And I would tell them exactly the elements that I would bring to it and what I hoped the results would be from this ritual. And they would take that request to the writers. The writers go over our character sheet, go over their story, and look at what is practical to happen. The faction facilitator then watches as we conduct the ritual and delivers to us the results of our scene.
There is one room called the Poigus room that is out of game. It says on the door, the doc is in, out of game room. Okay, that's where you go if you need a breather, if you need to just sit, if you need to shed a few tears, if you need to, laugh a little bit, just get it out of your system, whatever you need, you can go in there. There's some puzzles you can do, there's some stuffed animals, there's coffee, there's snacks, okay? So that is a place that you can go when you just need a couple of minutes. You're also in a hotel where you have a room. So if you need a more extended out of character break, you're welcome to head back to your room and take a little time. We ask that during in-game hours, you do not take role play back to your rooms. The reason why we ask this is because if you take a lot of private scenes back to your rooms, where's the drama? Right? You're hoarding the drama away from the game, okay? So try to keep the role play around where other people can participate if they wish to. Go to the puzzle room once, have a great time, get the clue, bring it back and share it, okay? Bring those clues back, share them. Every single clue you get in the puzzle room has something to do with our world. Filming. There will be filming on site. There will possibly be some video on site. There are ribbons, yellow ribbons that people are wearing. If they are wearing those yellow ribbons, it means that they do not wish to have their picture taken. They do not wish to be on film. At the end of the event, we will look through all the photographs. Any photos that have anybody with a yellow ribbon will be removed. Last year, when we welcomed everybody, we said we were Nordic inspired. Well, at that time, none of the 6 of us had actually been to a Nordic Larp. And now we have, okay? And I still think that we are very much inspired by Nordic, but really what we are is American freeform. And what this means is that we're not going to give you open sheets. We're not going to share our sheets with everybody. You're not going to be able to read your neighbor's sheet. But we are consent-based. We are collaborative storytellers. We are telling this story together. You will notice on your sheets that you have all kinds of goals and motivations and desires, but there's no prize if you achieve all those. Those are motivations to help you role play. Your story is in whatever you go out there and create, okay? They are in the connections that you build with other players. You have to go out and seek the kind of role play that you want, okay? In this room, in this game, all of us, every one of us is beautiful. Every one of us is sexy. Every one of us is strong. Every one of us is everything we always wanted to be, okay? Let's treat each other that way. Okay? So let's build each other up to be the people that we want to be. It's possible for your character to die, but if you are okay with that, talk to the person who might want to kill your character. Negotiate it to be after the ball, at least, right? I mean, if you're dead and you're watching all those people go to the ball, we don't have backup characters, okay? I mean, we'll let you come in as like some random independent mage if you want, but there's not a whole lot of fun in that, okay? So just keep that in mind when you're thinking about what's going to happen to your character. Any kind of physical contact or emotional violence must immediately receive clear permission before it can be performed. We're yelling at each other, all right? She has approved my yelling at her, all right? I've decided I want to smack her, all right? Ray, is it okay if I slap you? Okay. All right, now I slapped you, right? But you noticed, very brief negotiation. Is it okay if I slap you, right? Very brief. In the moment, quick negotiation, okay? Say no this time. Is it okay if I slap you? No. All right. You know, right. So I right? It can be done very, very quickly, very out of game. If it looks like maybe it's not going to be clear whether it's out of game, you can say, out of game, can I hit you? That's basically how you do immediate negotiation. We do not want anyone to walk away from this Larp feeling like they have in any way had their boundaries violated, okay? Not by players, not by the game itself, not by the rules, not by anything, okay? This is really important. If you feel this happens, come find me. 100% believe in player agency at Peculiar Crossroads. Everything that is happening at this game is happening because of choices that were made at Armistice Arcane 1. Right? Everything!
Far back. So instead of limiting what you can and cannot do, we just tell you the style that you do things in, right? So we can't possibly plan for that. Some of you are stronger than others, so keep that in mind. That you will know, it's on your sheet if it says so. But other than that, your magic guide is mostly about the way it goes down. The most important thing you need to remember when casting magic mostly is ritual magic, which means it takes time and preferably more people.
Another really wonderful thing about Armistice Arcane, and a part of the design that Peculiar Crossroads puts in there and prepare people for the event, is that Armistice Arcane has an event schedule. So everybody gets one, and it tells you what time dinner will be served, what time the festivities will begin in the morning, when tea will be had, and it's a schedule that everyone has that tells everybody what will be happening at certain times, and even when the event will be ending. This helped me prepare when I could be possessed, when I can conduct a murder, or perhaps when I'll sneak in a little time for tea. With the Armistice Arcane event schedule, there are times where the staff will tell you that they are done running stories for the night. This means that yes, you are welcome to continue your roleplay, but the staff is going to be going to bed so that they are bright-eyed and bushy-tailed for the morning to continue to run wonderful stories for you and everybody else. It's a great reminder that our bodies need special care when we are going through challenging moments. It is hard sometimes to be somebody different, and if we don't give our body the proper resources that it needs to feel rested, comfortable, and safe, then it's harder to be that other person sometimes. I really do love that within the design of Armistice Arcane, they give people enough time to rest so that we can all enjoy storytelling with each other. Another really wonderful part of the event schedule and part of the design for Armistice Arcane was scheduling some time to learn how to dance.
Now, my friends, you all know this. As long
At Armistice Arcane, the time period that we're playing in has a very different style of dancing than the shaking and moving that I'm used to, so any opportunity to learn how to do that I find really, really fun. So dancing in a different style that I'm used to was very intimidating, and I was very nervous about it. So the fact that Armistice Arcane offered a specific time that they taught us how to dance was really, really wonderful. It also provided a few opportunities for people to be able to shed some of those boundaries that they have, or shed some of those walls that they have, so that they could engage with something new and fun. There were so many people that showed up to the dance lesson, and I got to engage in roleplay with people that were outside of my faction that I may have never had an opportunity to play with. It ended up being incredibly beneficial later on, because then during the dance part, the ball, I actually knew how to dance, and I could spot some partners in the crowd that I could dance with. Being able to be on the dance floor and twirling around and whispering something secret into somebody's ear was really fun, and I highly encourage it. If you're ever looking to step outside of your comfort zone, maybe see if you can organize a dance at your LARP, or perhaps if your LARP does have a dance, engage with the people who are doing it as well. Now it's time to cast this spell in a new direction. It's time to engage with the story. At the end of the first event, I felt very fulfilled with how the story ended. I'm somebody who truly believes in good things end. I like getting closure in stories, and I felt that Rose had hers. And that would give me the opportunity to play something new at Armistice Arcane. I love the genre, I love the story, I love everything about Armistice. And they casted me as Priestess Elspeth O'Leary of the Order of Cernunnos. Most of the Order of Cernunnos is nested in the Appalachian Mountains at their home sanctuary. Elspeth had spent her life devoted to the study of Cernunnos, to her druid studies, to the magic that she could weave. Coming down from sanctuary was something new for Elspeth. That meant that something had to happen to really shake her and test her faith to make her way down to New Orleans. Elspeth had heard rumors and stories from the other members of Cernunnos that had gone down to the Armistice in New Orleans. The rumor was that Cernunnos himself had come to the Armistice and had a message for all of us. Some had begun to hear his voice again, and others denied that this was our deity. So Elspeth had to find that out for herself. She and a few others of the Order of Cernunnos came down from the Appalachian Mountains, and a few from Philadelphia, to meet to find out what had happened. Peculiar Crossroads gives their characters goals. You will find this on your sheet, and it kind of gives you something to do throughout the event. This gives you people to engage with, stories to pursue. If you follow your goals, you will find resolution in your story. The interactions that you have with other players end up revealing much more about the story. So if you're looking to engage with something, the goals that you have will end up being what ends up unlocking everything for you. Most of the time when I go to a LARP event, I try to create my own personal goals that are outside of my character that I can engage with. A lot of times I'm in and out of character trying to film a scene. It often makes it hard for me to get fully engaged with the story. So I've created a recipe of success for myself, which is having some out of character goals that will make the event super fun for myself. Something I really love doing with my faction, my guild, the people who I'm playing with, is ask them what would make this event wonderful for you out of play. One of the goals that I had set for myself was to do as many rituals as possible. I love doing LARP rituals. It's a great way to connect with other people. It's a great way to engage with one another, tell a story together. So one of the things that I wanted to do at Armistice Arcane was to be ready to go for as many rituals as needed. I like to help facilitate other people's fun as much as I like my own, so I brought things to share with others. If you needed some battery-operated candles so we wouldn't set the hotel on fire, I got you with extra batteries. If you needed silver to ward off a specific creature, or you needed stones to bless your space, I am your girl. I've got you. Whatever you need, usually I've got it on me. And I feel so much fulfillment when I get an opportunity to help others with their storytelling as well. We're going to close our eyes. Take a Deep breath. We're going to find our center. Wherever this place is, remember it. We'll connect to it. I am Priestess, Elspeth Illuminary. We have the representatives of each element that I would like to ask to speak. Fire. You speak first. Offer your element. Tell us its connection to yourself.
I am the element of fire. Fire can be used to keep someone warm, used to make instruments of power and create advances, but it also can destroy. And with this, with fire, we keep our passion, our energy, our love, and our desires.
Earth, would you like to speak?
I speak for the earth. I speak for stone. Since the earliest days when man crawled into a cave to get out of the weather, to build a home, the earth has been our protection. It has been our rock. It is, when all else is uncertain, we look to the stone and the earth. Without the earth, there is nothing.
Water, wish you sleep. I brought the blessing of water because water is ever changing. It's never in the same place twice. As life changes, we must adapt. And even if that change is not good, it must happen. Water, do you wish to possess the blessing? And air, what do you say?
Bring with us the air that blows over you, under your boundary. We're going to hug you. We're going to push you. We're going to bring you home. I'm never away from you as far as I know. The air is your breath. The air is your life. It's always.
Always there. Always reminding of home.
Do you wish to receive this blessing?
Yes.
Would you like to receive the blessing?
Yes.
Who are you, Lord? Which element speaks to your soul?
I'm Hannah Penderson of the Sentinels. And water. Because yes, it is life. You were born in it, we drink it, we live in it, and eventually you drown in it. Too much of a good thing.
We'll close our eyes. We'll rest. Let your hands down. Rest. You feel comfortable. Sway like the wind. Feel the water within your heart. Feel the fire that burns in your heart. And the earth that falls to your feet. Enjoy this blessing, and I hope that Cernunnos offers you the strength. Master, is there anything else you wish to say?
If things get hard, remember the blessing of your element and hope that you find strength within it. Persevere.
To persevere.
Okay, do I have everybody's permission for a role-playing effect? No harmful, no mind control. So as the priestess lowers her arms, those of you that felt an affinity with air now can feel it. You rush across the earth. You feel it quick, fast. You can see everything, hear everything. You are everywhere. And then suddenly in your heart is the rage of the storm, the breaking of trees, just everything comes out of you in one rush. Those of you that felt an affinity for fire can feel the warmth of the sunlight, can feel the life-giving warmth and air, and then suddenly the rage of the fire that burns the forest is in your heart. You can feel it through your veins and it burns. Those of you that feel an affinity for earth are suddenly unmovable, unbreakable. You are patient. You can withstand any damage. And still you are the rage of the avalanche. And those of you that feel the call of water You can feel it. It flows over the earth. It spreads life. And yet in its deepest, darkest, unknowable depths, there is danger and terror. And you embody all of that. And the feeling passes.
I am not a woman of magic. And I got through every warding charm and I owe myself to it.
You're strong because
Am I? Is that how this works?
you are heavy with less. You're less protected, less strength.
Quiet girl, do you actually think you understand water?
You understand it as much as anyone else does. She has to.
I'm noticing. Thank you for inviting the police in.
Of course, Anna.
There's a particular
You know, the last time you all did this, you actually called Cernunnos down, and it was pretty awful.
We don't know if it was
It's not Cernunnos. It's the demon.
It's a demon.
Would you swear that on all of this that you just did?
Yes, absolutely.
I mean, they come at every turn. What they saw is not them.
You'd put your life down on that?
I do more than that.
You'd put your life down on that?
Yes.
Alright, maybe you all have some balls after all. No, thank you. I can be proven wrong on occasion. Awful. Awful. We were all being serious.
Now is the time that we share the story of Armistice Arcane Part 2. Within the Order of Cernunnos, there was many things going on. There were personal family happenings that tore us apart, but also brought us together. As the Armistice began, the Order of Cernunnos met and discussed what we were hoping to achieve as a family, as a unit, as the Order of Cernunnos. We wanted to make sure that we had a unified front as we engaged with the other factions. Yes, we had our family drama, but we were going to set that aside to make sure that we could protect ourselves as well as the Order. What is going on with the ball tonight?
The Delphians had a prediction of the ballroom tonight being overcome by a shadow of death and destruction. As far as I'm aware, the Institute and the Society, I believe, are working together to attempt a trap for the other. They
That's a
think
very good idea.
that if they've already been able to pull somebody out of the mirror realm, they are able to hopefully trap it here. Keep it from being able to enter a place that they don't want it to.
I just said I'd rather go to Paris, France.
That's a very good idea. But that sounds terrifying. I mean, it'd be a terrible thing to witness.
During our time at the Armistice, I wanted to make sure that we had something that introduced the Order of Cernunnos to the other factions. That ended up giving us an elemental ritual. This scene would give everybody the opportunity to participate no matter what guild they were from, and we would offer them blessings in the name of Cernunnos. The Order of Cernunnos is a magical group that is often known for using blood, sacrifice in their rituals, which, within the contract of the Armistice, people had agreed that perhaps that was not how magic should be done, and it was kind of a taboo thing, and, you know, like, blood magic isn't great. So we wanted to show the other factions, the other people at the Armistice, that the Order of Cernunnos wasn't just a bunch of blood-sacrificing heathens from the forest, that we could offer something for them as well. This ended up leading to strong connections with other factions, and when we asked for assistance in summoning our god, they were there to help us. Now, summoning a god is not something that comes easy. You need lots of elements, lots of people, lots of energy. to draw that deity to you. To ask that God questions, you have to temporarily trap them to one location. And if you do trap them, their magic is much stronger than anything that a mere human could possess, so who knows if it will work or if you've upset them. You had to have as many allies as possible in order to conduct this ritual, to find out if that creature that had shown up was in fact Cernunnos, our beloved deity, or some demon masquerading as him. Well, look at the person standing across from you. Make eye contact with someone. Look into their eyes and offer your energy to this circle. Offer it to that person you see, and the people holding your hand. And those are the people who are here to assist and protect and make sure that no harm comes to everyone. In the name of Cernunnos, Horned One, we're going to open this circle. Close your eyes.
I
Wish for you to sway like the wind. Tree branches together. Feel your roots connecting to the earth. Feel your hands as branches connecting you with the energies of those around you. The vessel that wishes to make yourself known. Now is the time for you to join the circle. All raise your hands so that that person may join now. Very well. Rejoin, recollect. Make sure that this is what you wish to do. Do you have anything to say to us?
To protect my family. My strongest bond. Venite, vocare, Deus, tenebras, venante. Partitit ad nos in sempiten numen. Nam praeter doctritama. Vene ad nos nune. Rogamos autem do nam scientia est potentia estque resporinabitis carimus vene autem od nos.
What is this?
We've summoned you here.
You should not have this. You stole it! Stole it from another man. You should not. Ah! What have you done? What have you allowed them to do?
I'm protecting my family.
For them, charlatans, heretics, mewling kittens. Ah! Your kind are small and pathetic, just now realizing what you could be. Small humans. You would turn your back on who looked after you. You could have been so much more.
The spirit into me.
Form your hands, please.
Keep your hands together.
The only chance we've got, kill him!
Kill him, someone!
Don't you dare!
Do
Kill him!
it! Do it!
Do it! Do it!
You have
Do
to!
it, don't-
You must! It's the only way!
Please don't.
He will stay possessed. You have to. It's the only way. It's a mercy. It's not Aiden. It's not Aiden.
Everyone, shut up! I know.
Do it.
you? What have you done?
We have no answers. Call upon the nature around us. Any magic that you all possess. Please just focus it on cleansing this area and protecting yourselves, and you may release your hands. Take a deep breath and exhale. And we're all free to move about.
I don't know what to say right
I need it. No, you don't. Yes, I do. You can release it or I can break your hand. Let go. Can I have it? Hey, can I have it?
Now that the ritual was completed, it was time to get on with the rest of the event. That means attending a ball. The ball was a wonderful last part of the event. Just as the Order of Cernunnos had their god summoning ritual, other factions had other stories that had finished, and it was a wonderful opportunity to hear how those stories had gone.
Do you know about the amulet the whole time he was wearing it?
No, actually, when I finally touched the amulet, I was able to have a vision. So before you start to cast aspersions towards me.
Why did you trap it?
I needed to contain its power.
I am sick and tired of hearing all of this. I have been trying to gather information because I do not know a goddamn thing. And all of you keep having your little disagreements, claiming that, oh, he is not himself, and oh, and this and that. I am trying to figure out exactly what is going on so we can figure out a plan. Now, if you will stop arguing for 3 seconds, you could potentially do that. D'accord?
It was a wonderful time listening to the music, dancing around, feasting, hearing stories, and it offered a lot of really wonderful closure for the end of the event.
This is no charm! Who else wears these?
They're worn by the players of Beacon Hill.
This is a soul stone!
They're for protection.
Protection? Yes! Tell that to the person whose soul is inside this that you wear like a bauble!
In the middle of the ball, I did have to sneak away in order to participate in a mild possession, but after that was over, we went back to enjoying our night.
Taking a deep breath. Go to a place that brings you peace, that brings you serenity. Have our vessel. Please close your eyes. Ward yourself off of any negative thoughts. Put your mind in a happy place and hold on to the light within your heart. Wandering soul, hear my voice. Follow the light across the void. Open the veil. Enter this willing soul and speak. Speak words unspoken. Where am I? What is happening here? Listen, you don't get to ask me questions. Where's my family? What am I doing here? Did that go as you planned? No. Okay.
The event ended, we all switched into our PJs, and some of us stayed up telling wonderful war stories while the others went to bed. Huge disclaimer, I am like never good at staying up at a LARP. Like 11 o'clock hits and I am exhausted, ready to go to sleep. The final day at Armistice Arcane offers my second favorite part of an event, which is the debriefs. During the debrief, we were able to talk with our faction about things that didn't get resolved. We were able to shed pieces of our costuming and say goodbye to our characters. We were able to fill in a little epilogue, and it was really wonderful just to have that moment to kind of bring us back into ourselves as people. Leaving a LARP event where you are immersed in somebody else's mindset and being somebody else and acting as them, It is always wonderful to have a debrief to kind of bring you back to your own mindset, to remind you that you have a job and that you have pets and people that you love, and that the people that you shared the event with are people who love you and care for you and love telling stories with you. So a debrief to me is a very crucial part of my fun at a LARP event, because it is how I really get to get closure on some things that happened, as well as just really get to hear how I may have impacted somebody's event. I really appreciate Erica, and having her host our debrief was excellent. It's really wonderful to go to a LARP event and kind of feel like you've had a cathartic moment with a story, and then have somebody kind of be able to uplift you and heal you and kind of set you back into your everyday life with the things that you learned. And for me, it makes me stronger, and it makes, you know, this experience of life just so much more wonderful.
Someone cast blood magic on him. Whoa! This was done by blood magic.
There are links in the description on how you can support the channel to make sure that more content like this gets out to everybody. This channel is funded on friendship and the support of the LARP community, so thank you all so much for this opportunity. That's all for this illusion spell that I can cast. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I hope to see you next time on the battlefield.